Today, I'm joined by a drummer and composer whose work bridges the worlds of Black American music, African rhythms, and contemporary European jazz. Benjamin Sanz on the drums. Whether as a sideman, bandleader, or co-director, he's performed and recorded with some of the most innovative voices in modern music, including David Murray, Archie Shepp, Oliver Lake, among many others. From co-leading the African jazz ensemble Benkadi to shaping Paris's improvisational music scene with the MiRR Collective, his artistry pushes the boundaries of rhythm, sound, and collaboration. So let's dive into the music and creative journey of Benjamin Sands. So, bonjour, my friend. Good to see you.
Hi, Abe. Nice to meet you, and this is a great introduction. Thank you. I'm very honored to be part of the Rabbit Hole session.
We were just talking before I started recording. You're the first musician I've had on here who currently resides in France and is a French jazz musician. A few months ago, I was in Paris with my wife, and we were looking for a place to go hear music because our time was limited. I was very particular about what I wanted to see, and when I went online, I saw that I was going to be seeing your trio, and going to be playing piano trio, standards, and in a real straight ahead jazz context. I said, that's the one we're going to.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where we're going.
That was a nice evening, man. Yes, that was the 1st of January. Yeah.
So is that sort of your home? I mean, would the name of that club, refresh
The
me.
38?
Yes.
No, actually, I played there a couple of times, but yeah, I'm gonna play there with my quintet on April 11. And yeah, it's a nice place because it's a rendezvous for the musicians. They have jam sessions almost every night, and I like the spirit, and the people are always going for very they listen well. They are very good audience. They
Oh,
they appreciate they
absolutely.
really appreciate the music, and so that's a very nice place to be.
In America, even when you talk to the musicians here who play at festivals or they have their favorite venues, there's still nothing like playing in a jazz club, a real jazz club. It's the most
Right.
special sometimes.
That's right. That's right. This is a place that a lot of people like and a lot of musicians appreciate. That is important. That says a lot.
Is it so, with that place, is it sort of like when you have a gig coming up, at that venue, it's just you're that's the one you're excited for almost the most, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always excited to play wherever I play, but I like this place. Yeah, that's right.
So and I'll say this that that band was so good. I had chills the first two or three songs. That's a rarity.
Wow. Yeah, and this was the first time we played together as a trio with Yoni Zelnik on the bass. He's amazing player, and Levi
Amazing. Yeah.
Harvey on the piano is a young, very talented piano player, and I'm learning a lot, every time I play with them. It's really pleasant.
So, talk to me about what got you into, playing jazz specifically, because I'm sure it wasn't just the first things you started listening to, were the old jazz records,
Yeah,
right? Did it kind of
yeah.
transition to that?
Yeah, actually, I'm coming from the countryside in a little town in the east of Paris, and so my first goal was to get a driving license. Then I was going to Paris every night, to jam sessions, and so I came to that little club in Barbès Rochechouart. I know you have a Barbès also in New York, but it's a different one. And so there was a lot of great musicians, American musicians hanging there, such as Sonny Simmons, yeah, the alto player Sonny Simmons, and David Murray and Archie Shepp, and a drummer, amazing drummer, Sonny Murray, a pioneer in the avant-garde music, and so they were all very welcoming, and I was very demanding for to get informations right to the source,
How
because
how
I
old were you around that time when you were, going
I
there?
was 18.
Okay.
I just had my driving license, so this is the first thing I did was going there, So I learned a lot with them, just hanging with them, just learning from them and seeing them play. And this was kind of a meeting point for the American musicians in Paris because of the jam sessions they did there, and the great Sonny Murray was there like all the time, So he told me a lot about the history of the Black American music and the context, the social context, and the Black Panthers and all of that. So I learned a lot about them, and it touched me like very deep inside, because of the history. And I knew from the very beginning that I was in the presence of very important people,
Archie
and that,
Shepp played with John Coltrane.
yeah, of course, man, this is crazy. And when I first met them, I had no idea about who they were.
Right.
So this was very funny. It's just by digging more than I learned about them, and I got to play with them, and they have been always very encouraging, um, and I have to say this is an inclusive culture, you know. Everybody's everybody who want to be part of it is welcome.
That's beautiful.
And that's all I needed, because they didn't accept me at the conservatoire, at the at the music school. So this was actually also the only way I had to learn and get some knowledge, is just by sticking to them.
So these days, are you just performing the music, or in the US, a lot of people, a lot of the jazz musicians, or even just musicians in general, they teach during the day, whether they have private students or on the weekends they do a lot of, corporate performances or wedding gigs. Like, so talk to me, like, do you have to do any of those things? Are you able to just, just
Oh
play
sure.
jazz basically?
Oh no, no, oh sure. I take all the gigs. I don't refuse work because I think it helps, you know, just just to take the gigs and play any gig the best I can, whether it's a wedding or I don't know, a disco thing. And so I play. I don't play disco actually, but if I had a gig and I had to play disco, I would be um, um, very grateful to play that too.
Yeah, someone asked
I'm
me, they
okay.
asked me, "Oh, do you play Indian music?" For a gig, I said, "Oh, of course, I could." Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And how did
So
it go?
it was great because we took jazz standards like Freddie Hubbard, and we just
Oh,
we just we just reharmonized them, to play on
okay.
the, put the more, Middle Eastern or Indian sounding modes with the chord changes. But it was great. It was
That's
great.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I wish I can hear that. Did you
So
record?
no, no, this was at an art museum like 10
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you will, you like you said, you don't refuse work, and that's a great attitude to have, because a lot of the musicians that I speak to, they're almost, I don't want to say too picky, but it's like they want to ask a million questions about this type of, like, well, aside from the money, like every little detail. But you understand, like, you want to work, and it's a privilege, it sounds like, to play.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Some musicians do ask a lot of questions because they want to do the best job they can, you know. I like to ask questions, not too much, but yeah,
Not 20 questions. Yeah.
not too much. It's important to just
Do
keep
you
it
teach at
simple.
all, or are you just
Yeah,
playing?
I do teach. I used to teach more, but now I kind of give more private lessons. Yeah.
So
Uh,
as far as the, the different places to play in, are there opportunities that, in Paris that don't exist per se? Like if you wanted to, like you could just go into the cafe. There's so many cafes in Paris. It's almost like remarkable. Like, are they receptive to having, bands play there or trios, duos? Like you could just present one of these cafes, like, hey, we would like to play, or they kind of they don't want to do that.
Not all. I mean, you have specific places that really program musicians on a regular basis, maybe all week. But and you have other cafes when you can have a gig, or this is someone else's gig, and some musicians have gigs like this. But you have to know the place. So when you come to Paris, the best thing you want to do, if you want to listen to live music, is just go online on the Paris Jazz Club, for example, and then you get a list of all the, just like you do in New York. Like when I was there last summer, I used the app Who's Playing in Town. Is a great app. I still have it.
Did you go to the
Uh,
Vanguard when you were in New York?
no, I went to Birdland,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I went to Lincoln Center.
Hmm.
I've seen Tishan Sori,
Oh, Tyshawn Sawyer. Yeah.
Tishan Sori quintet there. I've seen Ravi Coltrane quartet at Birdland.
Yes.
It was incredible. Yeah, I've seen some really good musicians there. I didn't stay long. I was just I had a week of concerts in the Midwest in Kansas City before, so I benefit my being in the States to get my New York fix, you
Yeah.
know.
Who were you working with in Kansas City? Was that your
Peter Schlemp is a vibes player,
Yes, yes, I know the name.
amazing bass player. Jeff Harshbarger on the bass, amazing bass player also, and the French tenor sax player established in New York, John Boutelier.
Okay.
Maybe you heard about him.
Well, I definitely know the name Peter Schlam, the
Yeah,
vibraphonist.
yeah, yeah.
Is he from
I
Paris or is he from New York? Do you know?
No, Peter Schlemp is from Kansas City,
Oh, okay.
Missouri. Yeah, because they're such I mean, amazing musicians from Kansas City. It's crazy how many great musicians this city can provide.
There's amazing musicians all over the world, man.
That's true. That's true.
When I saw you guys play, I'm like, this is like, this is like the art. This is what it's about,
Wow, thank you, man.
You
I
know.
appreciate that.
It's so nice to hear people who just, play tunes and interact and swing
Yeah.
and aren't afraid to play, many different types of swing on a set, because these days sometimes people, want to be so too creative they forget about, what jazz is about, the swing.
Yeah. I mean, I come from I started with free improvised music, you know.
Three.
Then I figured out I had to learn to pay my dues and learn the basis, you know. So even the great avant-garde musicians uh, really told me, like, you want to get the job, you have to swing.
Are,
You
how,
want to
how,
get the gig, you
are
have
there opportunities for, um, Parisian musicians to play, aside from the clubs, are there, certain festivals that take place that, outdoor that they have those opportunities, or are those a little harder to come by?
Sure. But it's out of Paris. It's mostly out of
Out
Paris.
of Paris. Okay.
Yeah. You got to go out of Paris. You have plenty of festival in France. Plenty of festivals. Really. And it's not really easy to get the gigs, but I think it's like that everywhere.
It's never
Um,
easy, right?
it's never easy especially today, to set up a real tour, like, and trying to avoid the days off. It's not easy. It's not easy. But in France, this is, as a matter of fact, you have plenty of festivals, especially in the summer. So go get them.
But
Yeah,
like you said, it's not easy, on any level to.
it's not very easy. I mean, I have often questions like that from American musicians who want to come to play to France, and I wish I could help them, but I wish I could also help myself
Yeah, you
to
have to
get
help.
those
Yeah,
in my
exactly.
band, you know. And putting a quintet on the road is not that easy. So
Yeah, and you gotta, if you want to go on the road, these days, I was just talking to somebody, you have to, the most cost effective way sometimes is to just, get the musicians who live in those cities to play with you, as opposed to bringing a whole band on the road.
yeah, I always found that heartbreaking because I've been subbing for great drummers, and that was really an opportunity for me to play with Americans on the road, because I mean, because music was great and everything, but at the same time, I was thinking that why don't they get their drummer? You know,
Yeah,
I wish if I you know if I was the band leader, I wish I could take my drummer. You know,
of course. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So so it's nice. It's to play with them, but at the same time, it's kind of heartbreaking.
yeah.
Uh, just for a hotel room and the round trip ticket, and you know
When I used to go on the road, when I was in, this is going back to, 2012, when I first started to, like, it would be me and the other, we would be in one hotel room, and it was not very nice. The hotels were just, it was like,
yeah,
you could not believe where we were staying. It was just
yeah,
awful.
yeah. No, you
But
don't
we
want that.
loved playing. The playing was great.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you have to have that
Yeah, it's worth it at the end of the
first,
day.
otherwise nothing happens. But yeah, the music.
As far as venues, in France, what are your favorite places to go play or even to go hear music that, like for me, like if I want to go hear music, I'm going to the Village Vanguard. Like I know, like that's my favorite place to go hear music. I can buy a ticket, I can sit down, I know what I'm gonna get a glass of wine and I don't have to eat. So do you have places
Yeah,
that you want to go hear or even like places you love to play
yeah.
too?
Yeah, in Paris, I like the 38
Hmm.
Rivoli, the place you came down. I also like a place called Petite Halle,
So
Little
that's
Hall.
a club, a good club.
Oh, it's a nice club. They do restaurant and bar, and the room can be a little loud, but the music is really cool. I like the programmation there. And you have Baiser Salé. You have three clubs in the Rue des Lombards. Sunset Sunside, Baiser Salé, and Duc des Lombards, that
Right.
are very known. I personally like the 38 Rivoli and Baiser Salé, but I mean, I go where the good music is, so I don't pay
Oh yeah,
too
I mean
much
that's I
attention
mean that's
to the
that's the
venue.
thing. I mean, like when I was in Paris, like I was there for, maybe a week or so, and like there were like there were some tribute concerts going on. I'm like, I have no desire to go hear this. Like I just want to go hear
Mm.
people play.
That's right. That's right.
And that's,
Exactly.
what it's about. So, that was the right decision. So, talk to me about what's going on for you, like, for, the next coming months, as far as what are you looking forward to and, as far as projects or any
Oh
performances.
yeah. Oh yeah. I recently released my third album as a leader. It's a quintet. album, and this is my favorite musicians ever in France. Herman Mehari on the trumpet. Ricardo Izquierdo. Herman is from Kansas City. We are just talking about that. Ricardo Izquierdo is a tenor player from Cuba. Rob Clearfield
Mhm.
on piano. He's from Chicago. He played with Makaya McCraven, Marquis Hill, Itamar Borochov,
Mhm.
like heavy cats, and Luca Fattorini on the bass. He's an Italian. He's from Roma, Italy. Is amazing. He's is really one of my favorite bass players. And so this is my quintet. And so we released an album called Black Seeds,
Mhm.
and we will soon release another album in a larger ensemble that we co-lead with Ricardo, the tenor player. And this is called Iro Nlala, which means in Yoruba, Big Bang. Big Bang, like the creation of the world, of the universe. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah, the
mean?
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, yeah. Let's think big, you know. And so it's an ensemble with a lot of improvisation. It's a large ensemble with nine people, a singer. You have drums from Cuba, bata drums, from the this tradition, the Afro-Cuban tradition.
Mhm.
And so we will soon release that album. We just finished mixing, and so I'm very excited about that project. And I have another project that is in the making, and I'm actually composing the music for that.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want to say too much about that because
That's
it's
for the next interview. We'll talk about it.
right, right, right. So yeah, a lot of things are going on, and we were in Switzerland with my quintet last week. We played a nice club called the Bird's Eye in Basel. Um, I wish I could have some time to meet some musicians there because I heard that Jorge Rossi is,
Oh, God, of course.
amazing drummer, and Jeff Ballard is often there. They have an amazing music school, and then yeah, I started. I'm playing every month in a nice place in the suburbs called La Brasserie. It's a brewery.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah, and I like this kind of place because
Yeah,
it's
in the States, it's like we play there are people, there's a lot of jazz nowadays at breweries and wineries.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about that. It's funny, uh, those cats, they're funny because they did that brewery, and they did a club, and there's a recording studio in the middle of the club. So they are not afraid, to do things like
Oh yeah,
that,
I
and
played a
it's
brewery
working.
yesterday and then a brewery 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so
It's just
I appreciate that, and so they called me. I played like 4 or 5 times, and then they say, okay, now you're coming every month, and
beautiful.
so I can bring whoever I want. And we played last Saturday with a Cameroonese guitar player
Mhm.
called Alime Bebege, and it was much fun. And yeah, some stuff are in the making, in the cooking.
No, no, that sounds like you have a lot in the making. Usually people, have to it takes time to think about what do I have going. But you sound like you're busy and rightfully so. You're a tremendous player. So
And I'm also very busy just practicing and transcribing and learning, and I'm excited about everyday practice.
yeah.
Like it's very important because it's not have always been like that, and I'm super excited about the my next hour of practice, you know what I mean? So I got my schedule, and so this is great because I'm discovering now how much I can put in 1 hour. You know
Oh,
what
yes.
I mean? So it's great.
Well,
Um,
let's leave it let's leave it on that note because that while you're practicing after this interview, you'll get a text from me with the link to the podcast. So,
oh,
and
great.
wanted to say thank you so much for doing this and wish you, the best for the rest of the year and we'll do it. Let's do it again.
That would be my pleasure, and it was very nice. And you guys can go online and check out my album and tell me what you think.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Abe.
Thank you.
This is how you pronounce that.
You got
Abe,
it.
Abe,
Abe, Abe.
Abe. Thank you.